New information, we're going to be talking about it. A little less organized than normal, but here we go. Rock Paper Shotgun did an interview with Josh Sawyer, who was the project director for Fallout New Vegas. When asked to comment on the show, he said the show really does capture the aesthetic of Fallout 4 and 76, while also feeling like it is set on the West Coast. If you're a fan, then you could see where the plot elements have been pulled from in the previous entries, and if you're new to it, thankfully those plot elements are fairly straightforward. So I think it's a good show for fans and a good show if you're new to it, even though there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm certainly interested to see where they're going in the second season. The article says by the time we speak, Sawyer has seen the finale of the Fallout show, but for 3 days prior, he was, quote, inundated with the discourse as fans tweeted their worries and outrage directly to his account. I understood why there was maybe some confusion or ambiguity, he says. I don't think I necessarily would have jumped to the conclusions that other people did, but I could see why some people might be aggravated or annoyed. He then goes on to say, this might sound weird, but whatever happens with it, I don't care. My attitude towards properties that I've worked on and even characters that I create is that I don't own any of this stuff. It was never mine, and the thing that I made is what I made. Sawyer remains very proud of the New Vegas team's work and believes the game stands on its own. Quote, if later on other people working in the space do new things with it and change it, I'll maybe have opinions on it, but I don't get attached to things in that way, he says. I don't feel like it's healthy for me to be really invested in something I have no control over, frankly. He then says there are things that I might watch and say, I don't think I would have taken this that way. And then there are other things that I think are really cool, but it's not my space. It was never my thing. I was a guest working in it. So I try to keep a level of distance between myself and the setting. The article later says Obsidian was given 18 months to make Fallout New Vegas. We took a shipped game and made a spin-off without really changing the underlying tech very much. So we focused almost entirely on content. When it came out, it was criticized for playing very, very similar to Fallout 3. Over time, however, fans have come to appreciate where Obsidian did put its time and energy. Our team has had the luxury of focusing on conversations and quests and really making those as robust and dynamic as we could, Sawyer says. A lot of the philosophy that I approached New Vegas with was the philosophy of Fallout 1, or how I interpreted it. Fallout 1 was foundational for me in understanding how role-playing games should be made. There's a few other things in the article, but one thing that's cool to think about is the fact that, yeah, it only took 18 months to make Fallout New Vegas. And the whole thing was, it was sort of like they had all of the assets from Fallout 3 and they kind of just built off of it. They improved upon what it was and they had a lot of time, a lot more time, I guess, because they didn't really have to start from, it's not like a jump from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4 where you're making a whole new engine, a whole new everything overhauled, a sprinting system, yeah, jetpacks in the game, a flying blimp in the air, yeah, a lot of different things going on, whole lots of different improvements. Fallout 4 obviously is a whole next level improvement from Fallout 3 and New Vegas's like graphical side and I guess gameplay side, or obviously everyone has their own opinions, but like it's a whole new modernized system in Fallout 4. And I know Bethesda gets a lot of hate, and so I've been thinking a lot recently that since Obsidian is now under Microsoft's wing, the same as Bethesda Game Studios is, now I don't know the whole industry like that, so go ahead, correct me in the comments and let me know in the comments on if this would be possible or not. I know there are a lot of other people out there that are way smarter than me, so please tell me. But I think it would be cool if maybe Obsidian and Bethesda would collab on a Fallout game, since Obsidian has been known to do it the best when it comes to the story and the writing and a lot of things like that. But Bethesda has been known, I've seen a lot of people say, yeah, Bethesda does the gameplay the best when it comes to the guns and even the addition of the settlement system and different things like that. They've implemented very well. Of course they could be refined and everything, but Bethesda has innovated a lot with the gameplay itself, and a lot of people prefer, well, most seem to prefer Obsidian's writing, right? So I think it would kind of be a win-win if they both worked on the games together. Obsidian has said many times in the past they would love to work on another Fallout game if given the opportunity. Once again, I don't know a whole lot about the industry, but I have heard in the past that the people that worked on New Vegas back in the day probably aren't even working with Obsidian nowadays. So I don't know about all that, but either way, I think that maybe if it would be possible, maybe try it out. If Obsidian would work on the story for the next Fallout and just give Bethesda control over everything else. I don't know. I'm a Call of Duty fan, so I kind of related to Call of Duty how, like, you know, you always get Treyarch working on the zombies all the time because they are the #1 guys for that. And just all the other studios kind of handle their strong points, even though Call of Duty's kind of been going down the drain a lot every single year. I don't know. Everyone has, of course, that's a whole different subject. I mean, don't even get me started on that. That's the thing. Everyone has own varying opinions on if you like a game or not, so it's a never-ending battle. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty interesting little read. I didn't read through everything. There's a bunch in here. But yeah, I just wanted to point some of that stuff out, give a little bit of a news update today. Still working on some more videos. Yeah, if anyone is new to the channel, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, if you want me to talk about anything specific, let me know, and you know, I'll consider making a video on it. I don't know. Maybe if you want my perspective on something that happened in the show, or I don't know, thoughts on anything about the games. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Just wanted to talk about this. This is kind of newer information. I think it just came out this morning. So yeah, and yeah, that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thanks for watching.